Fantastic. Let's take a look at some Major League Baseball lines that are on the move. Overnight line movers, Teddy, SBRodds.com, the best place on the internet to check in and get those line movements directly through sportsbookreview.com. Oakland line on the move, Teddy. Take a look at Bassett starting against Minor. Offshore Pinnacle actually opened up at a minus 104, now sits at minus 142. Chris offshore, minus 125, now sits at minus 147. So Minor and Bassett. And look, you want to say like, Oakland should have got right against Toronto, and they got wrong against Toronto. Now looking for a bounce back, and looks like the markets are saying, you know what? Oakland should be right for a bounce back tonight.
Nothing to do with the teams. The markets are betting starting pitching, and they're not betting what you've seen. They're betting all projections. Okay, here's Mike Minor for Texas, 7.1 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's not good. 211 batting average on balls in play. That's going to go up. 83.3% strand rate. That's going to go down. You look at his ERA, 2.60. Wow, he's great. You look at the XFIP, the advanced metric stats, he's at 4.67. The market's clearly betting that here. They always bet against what I call the tired retreads, the starters who've been around for a while and been mediocre. And who do they like? They like the young guys. They like the guys that haven't been proven yet. They like the candidates. You know, here's this kid Bassett for Oakland. Tommy John surgery in 2016, and he came back to the majors last year and showed some signs, and he was a candidate to be a starter coming out of spring training, and then he took a line drive off his knee, and then he got set back. But here's the quote from Bob Melvin. We've seen a guy who's now fully back to his best health. This is the quote the bettors pay attention to. His velocity looked like it picked up again this spring. And that's all the bettors, the advanced metric markets are interested in. What's his velocity? And it looked like he was confident with what he was doing. I think he's probably as ready as he's ever been. They're betting the velocity of the fastball against the guy with the low BABIP and the high strand rate and the high XFIP. That's all this is. It's just advanced metrics. They like Oakland's pitching, despite the fact that the A's are ice cold right now, having getting swept by the Jays.
Teddy, taking a look at Mats and not betting against what you saw last time out versus the Philadelphia Phillies, a historic game from Mats' perspective, giving up 8 runs in the first inning and not only on his way to 10 total runs for the Philadelphia Phillies in that first inning, last start out versus the Phillies in Philadelphia, just in the first inning alone. Pinnacle opens up as the Phillies is a slight favorite with Jake Arrieta minus 110, but now we see it flipping over, Teddy, plus 101, plus 102, plus 105, currently out there on the market. Going to be Mats and Arrieta getting it underway in Flushing tonight on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, that's about as easy as over ticket you'll ever cash. I had one in the last start from Mats, and when it's 10-0 in the first, all you're saying is no rain out, no rain out, no rain out, which there was none. Obviously, 8 batters faced, 0 of them outs. His quote, I was just leaving the ball up in the zone. It was a poor effort. I've been here before, so I know at this point I can come out of it. It's not going to define me or define the season or anything. I just have to wash it and move forward. Of course, we're talking about Mats. He's got a 4.96 ERA. His XFIP is lower, and he's only got a 57.5% strand rate. That will rise. Arrieta, the ERA looks great, 2.25. You look at the XFIP, it's 5.07. That's what the markets are betting. Mats has the better XFIP. Arrieta's early season numbers, not necessarily indicative of how the markets are viewing him right now. They're not very high on Jake Arrieta. We're seeing it again today.
How about Sale going to be on the mound versus Boyd? Boyd, a little sneaky under the radar, having a decent season. The start, Chris Sale, the complete opposite. It's been a train wreck, but you're going to get wind blowing in. You're going to get some rain. Whether or not this game gets in, we're going to take a look at it tonight. The Red Sox minus 205 with a total of 8. Keep in mind, Teddy, this line opened up offshore at 8.5 and did drop to 8 here up in Fenway.
Yeah, and it's very important to talk when we talk about totals. The openers come up the day before bullpens are being used, and before weather conditions are fully known. And the markets effectively tell the odds makers, all right, well, you better pay attention to this weather because it's an issue. The opening numbers on totals themselves really don't factor in the weather a whole lot. They let the markets do that. They let the bettor do that. What's the weather today? Well, we have a 15-mile-an-hour wind directly in from left, temperatures in the low 50s, and rainy conditions. No surprise, we're seeing under money on the hill, especially with Sale. Well, we'll see how he does tonight, but the market's not shy on backing him in what should be a get-right start for a pretty good hurler.